Okay, so this video is for those of you who are about to, or in the middle of, or not starting because you're afraid, some type of endeavor, something you want to achieve in your life, some goal, whether it's physical, like losing weight or getting in shape, or manifesting a relationship or a specific person, or a court case outcome, a change in your custody agreement, or your support allocation, whatever it is, all right? A new job, a business being successful, amazing clients, starting a business, whatever it is you want in your life, no matter where you are in the physical action process. I am here to remind you that the foundation of anything we want to achieve has to be our self concept. This is the soil for all of the flowers you want to plant in your life. So you want to make sure that soil is very healthy and nutrient dense and well watered and all of those things. For example, and that it's also a match to what you want to grow. So I know like very little about botany or horticulture, but I am sure that there are different kinds of soil depending on what people want to grow. Like if somebody wants to grow, I don't know, an avocado tree, I'm sure there is soil that's conducive to avocado tree growing versus like, I don't know, a rose garden, right? So before you start planting your plants, consider what type of soil you have and what it needs to be in order to successfully grow what you want to grow. So, for example, let's say somebody wants to plant the rose of a relationship with a specific person, okay? But their soil, their foundation, their self concept is I'm never chosen, or this person is out of my league, or I only like the people I can't get, or whatever, right? Even if it's, let's say this person was beloved by every other human on the planet except for their one specific person, so their self concept is in relationship to that person, because everything is about the relationship, right? That person doesn't choose me, all right? They're not going to be able to grow the rose of that relationship with that person in that soil. And before they can even figure out what needs to happen to change the soil, they need to know where they're starting from. So let's say this soil needs a certain type of nutrient in order to be conducive to growing that type of plant. Okay. Well, you don't know what nutrient it's deficient in unless you test the soil. By the way, I do not really plan so much what I'm going to say in these videos. I just kind of start out with one idea and then riff. And I really like the way this metaphor is developing. Also, because in real estate, like sometimes for commercial property, you have to do a soil test to determine what kind of soil there is. So, anyways, um, so here is the part that a lot of people don't want to do because they find it triggering or scary, or they think they're manifesting in the wrong direction. Excuse me. Which is looking at where your soil is now. Okay. So, what does this mean? You have to get really honest with yourself and sit down and think about the main areas of your life, which are physical health, romance, like intimate partnerships. Hopefully, you just have one. Our like social and familial sphere, right? Like our wider community. And I know I'm missing one. Oh, career and finance. Okay. And so take a piece of paper and draw a window, like 4 quadrants, and label each quadrant with one of those headings, and then write down everything that comes to mind regarding you and that subject, right? So if it's money, you might write down money flows easily, amazing clients find me and appreciate my value. Or maybe that's not true for you. Maybe you honestly, and you be really honest, because you cannot change. In order to get where you're going, you have to know where you are. It's a map, right? Like, you can't just put in your GPS, I want to go there, because the next question is, well, like, what's your starting point? Well, okay, fine. In your GPS, you're like already in the car. But if you go on Google Maps and you want to map the route to a destination, you have to enter a starting point, okay? So hopefully this has softened any resistance you might have to this exercise. And so you write down the honest thoughts that come to mind. And it could be a mixed bag, right, of positive and negative. And so that's fine. And then you sleep on it. You don't try to go any further in that moment. And then the next day you come back to it and you're like, okay, the beliefs that are not serving me, that I don't want to be true, because remember, whatever we believe, the universe proves us right. This is confirmation bias, and it works for us and against us. And unfortunately, because of the way the human brain is wired, because most people, excuse me, think about what they don't want, what they're afraid of, what like what they're trying to avoid. Like, there's a psychological principle that the pursuit, the what a human will do to avoid pain is significantly greater than what they will do to run towards pleasure. And I suppose it's because, from a survival instinct, pleasure doesn't keep you alive, but running from something dangerous does keep you alive, right? But we don't live in that. Most of us are not being chased by wild animals anymore. I was confronted by 2 coyotes on the running path the other day, and that was a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, fine. So the next day, you're going to go back to this window pane and reverse the beliefs and write it down, by the way, with some kind of statement that is the opposite. All right. So, like, let's say under the romance category, you had, oh, and by the way, if you are looking to manifest a positive court case outcome, then that could be under a family and social, right? Because, like, that's basically like other people in your life, and that could be anybody. And I mean, just as some examples, it could be like, I'm shy, or people, find me off-putting, or they, I don't get invited to parties, or they're against me. Oh, that's funny. I license plates as Little Dragon. Super into license plates. I don't know why. So that's where that would go. And then so let's say under the romance category, you have a statement that says, I'm never chosen, or the people I want don't want me. All right, so you're going to reverse that, and you're going to say, I am pursued by high quality women or men, or whatever your preference is. I feel totally confident and sexy and desirable wherever I go. Whatever lands for you. And when you write it down, obviously at this point, because it's not part of your programming, your subconscious is going to reject it. You're going to feel resistance, because your subconscious only accepts that which is familiar and comfortable and practiced. So you have not practiced these statements or thoughts, then basically your subconscious is going, okay, not in programming. So how do you get them into your programming? So twice a day, you're going to give yourself 10 minutes and get yourself into a very relaxed sort of alpha brainwave state. And then you're going to open the gates to your subconscious by some general statements. So think of it this way. If somebody is trying to convince you of something, and in this case, you're going to be trying to convince yourself of something, you have to trust that person. Because if you don't trust somebody, it doesn't matter what they tell you, you're automatically going to reject it. So you really want to start with trusting yourself, okay? And so these opening statement, and don't do this while you're like, brushing your teeth, or obviously you can't do it while you're, don't do this while you're like washing your face, or bustling around your house doing dishes. Like, this should be when your body's still and you're chilled out, right? It should actually be enjoyable. So you say these like foundational statements to gain the trust of yourself, which may be also a new concept for some of you. And you're going to say, I deeply trust myself no matter what. I claim myself over the temporary circumstances of my life. I am the most important and beautiful person I know. Like, things you would want your child to say to themselves, right? Because of course you have an inner child. We are all just children in this world. And once you say these generalized foundational statements, then you're going to get into the specifics. Okay, specifically the positive statements that are the reverse of the ones that aren't serving you. And you want to really commit to this and do it consistently, twice a day for about a month, because it's like, you think of, say, like wood or some sort of hard surface. Let's say you scratch it every day with, like, a little, I don't know, like needle or something. But also that same day, like, it gets painted over. Okay, it's like the paint or the cement or the enamel is going to like cover whatever little indentation you made. But then let's say you make that same indentation every single day for a month. Then if it gets covered, like, it's going to be part of the surface. It is engraved. So that's what you're really doing, is you are engraving these messages into your heart. And in so doing, think about this, okay? When you engrave something, what do you actually do? You take something out. This is really good. Again, I did not plan this metaphor. So it's sort of like with Michelangelo and his statue of King David. He had this block of marble, and he's like, I just chipped away all the stuff that wasn't a friend inside the marble. This is the same thing we're doing with affirmations. When we repeat them consistently, we are scratching away, we are engraving, we are taking out the material that is the opposite of what these affirmations are saying. It's so funny. I just arrived at my destination, and I think this is a really good place to stop this video. Oh my gosh, I'm like so yawny in my videos lately. I don't know if it's because, I don't know why that is. Probably just need to sleep more. But I also feel like when you talk a lot, sometimes, like, your body, because you're not like breathing regularly, your body's like, your brain's like, oh, I need more oxygen. Or maybe that's just me, and I'm sure there's classes on that. Okay, fine. Anyways, I do not introduce myself. I often forget to do that in these videos. My name is Chana. I am a manifestation coach, spiritual teacher, energy healer, former divorce and family mediator, consultant, coach. I'm a lot of things, but really, oh, here's my son. Okay, I gotta go.